Well, there they are, the dynamic duo, Danger Mice, Teddy and Liam White. Hugely, hugely excited to see how they get on tonight. They start off against two of Malta's finest, Gary Carr and Clayton Castaldi, two super players. Clayton was the reigning world champion as recently as last year. Saw a clip of that win in Morocco at the start of the show, and being present for that was really quite a special feeling, to be honest with you. You could tell just how much it meant to Clayton and what felt like 100 others who were in the building at the time with Team Malta, and talked about it with the guys in that interview there, Simon, but it is difficult to sort of stress just how much Malta absolutely loves this game. I know you've been out there to experience it yourself. It's pretty incredible, really. It
is, and you have to go out there to really see it, to believe it. And obviously, if you're based in the UK or other parts of the world, then you know pool is massive. A lot of people play it, but in terms of a spectacle and a professional sport, it's it's not as high up as others. But in Malta, it really is. It's one of the absolute biggest sports they have. The passion and the pride they have for the sport is huge. You know, I played out there and well, a few years ago, and back when I was playing for England, and the Prime Minister of Malta opened the event. You know, that's the sort of level we're at. You know, it's quite incredible. Yeah, and to give you another sort of, I mean, I'm not going to name drop the Prime Minister of Malta, and I certainly didn't play for England, but in terms of how big the sport is, there's a player called Dejan Grek, who is a teammate of these two in the Maltese team. Won a European title a couple of years ago, and he received Malta's Sportsman of the Year award, which just gives you a little indicator as to how seriously this sport's taken in that country. And so Clayton just overplaying that shot by a fraction. It left Gary no option really but to play the safety shot, so it brings the whites to the table, and I for one am so excited to see what they can bring this evening. Liam in his own right is a super player. He's a former Challenger Series champion, been on the pro circuit for a couple of years now, and this is White Jr. Teddy, who picked up the game, well, more recently than Liam won his Challenger title just a year and a half ago. Liam was absolutely overjoyed when Teddy picked up the game, because he'd been trying to get him into it for ages and ages, and eventually I think Teddy was bored one afternoon and got excited and just started hitting balls, and Liam saw straight away that he had a bit of a natural talent at it, and the pair of them, I don't think, have been off the table since. Yeah, unfortunately just overhit. Well, they're going to get another opportunity. He just overhit the safety shot. I was actually a little bit surprised that Liam didn't play it. It was a sort of touchy shot to ask Teddy to play first of all. You kind of want Teddy to ease in with a nice pot and an opportunity there. I wonder what Teddy's schoolmates are thinking right now watching this. I honestly, I'm blown away with the fact that he's out there playing. I mean, look, sound like I'm being big-headed. I played at a reasonable level, and I played for England, as you told us earlier. And I often think, because obviously I stopped playing before Ultimate Pool came along, and that's a brilliant shot from Teddy. But I often think, how would I feel if I had to go out there and play in this environment? And I don't think I'd hold myself together very well. And we're asking a 9-year-old to go out and do it. I just think it's absolutely incredible. We're not asking; he very much volunteered. Well, absolutely, but I mean, he has to now deal with that pressure. And I honestly, we've seen so many players, so many, older players that have been out there and haven't handled it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does. He might be too young to feel the pressure, I don't know, but I think he is. And well, they're going to get a good chance. They're going to have a great chance here. If this was just Liam at the table, you'd almost be chalking this frame off, because he's been there and done it so much before. But it's safe to say that Teddy, despite his obvious prowess, is a little bit of an unknown quantity. But regardless of what I just said before about how I don't think he'll feel too much pressure out there, it's another thing feeling absolutely nothing, and every single player who's ever hit a cue feels better when that one goes on the scoreboard, if they can get off to a start.
Can they really cause some damage tonight?
I think Teddy might have been done a little dirty by his dad. Is he on the yellow to middle? Oh, he is. He's okay. Nicely done. Slightly tricky thing here. Liam's going to ask Teddy to play the big shot here. And he needs to just knock this in and leave an angle on the one on the right hand side. But it's going to be a stretch for Teddy. It's actually a little bit of a challenge here. You don't want to get straight on it. You need angle. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. It's actually, I think Liam's been clever. I think because of that, he wouldn't have been able to reach it. So he's pulled it back. Normally you'd have more angle so you can get the cue ball back to the middle of the table. But he's basically saying to Teddy, get him as much in line as possible, drop it in, and he'll make a tougher cut to top left on the final yellow. So I think that's quite a clever play from Liam.
Yeah, lovely shot too.
Yeah, and that was excellent.
Tap of the knees from both the Maltese boys in the top corner of your picture. Lovely shot from Teddy. I actually had a little look before we got going tonight at Teddy's equipment, and he's using a two-piece cue, but he's only using the bottom piece of it, and the top piece is just a butt of another cue, and the plan is to make that longer and longer as he grows into his cue. It's really amazing. Pot this one, the house will come down. Look at that.
Cue ball, he's okay.
What a start for Liam and Teddy White, with Teddy playing all the difficult shots, and they are 1-0 in front. Oh, isn't it just? Not guaranteed at all to be on the 8 ball, even if you make this yellow. Big shot here. Think you can see the edge. Oh yeah, comfortably. But it wasn't easy. How's the leave? Pretty perfect if you're Teddy White.
Gary is feeling it. That was a tough shot, but
Well, this is what Liam told me before the night they might have to do. So he's borrowed his dad's cue. No rest needed. He'll just take the bigger stick. That'll do.
And then switch it back.
Yeah, there's the swap. Lovely job. He's not killing clock, is he? He's got the lot.
He's got to be careful. He has used his extension.
Yeah, that's a nice nudge. That's okay. Oh, just under 4 minutes remaining. Not a terrible spot, even if he misses this 8 ball. But if he makes it, they're on the hill, and they are all but in the shed with a win to their name. Stays up. What's the leave like? Gary's going to be forced into a double. Oh, he's having to play safe. He's left the edge here.
Yeah, interesting decision, because he has left the edge. So even if Teddy doesn't make this 8 ball and he's given him a chance potentially to clip it back, he's not going to have a great shot on the yellow anyway, and it's killing time.
Couldn't see the hole of that pocket, I don't think.
Oh my word. Oh.
Can you imagine?
But this is what's happened. Gary didn't play a very good shot, and that means he's now got a very tough yellow.
That's admissible. Oh, drills it. Great shot. This 8 ball still needs making mind. I don't think he can cut this back. You have to take it long. Oh, and it stays up. Oh, we're in for some fun and games now. This is all disaster for Gary Carr and Clayton Castaldi, because all this is doing is taking time off the clock. 2.5 minutes to play. And Teddy's well aware of that clock. Took the double on, didn't make it. Doesn't leave an easy one.
And it's gone safe-ish.
Is he going to leave it hanging? Not quite.
Just caught the bump of the pocket, so it's now a trickier 8 ball. But we're going to be under 2 minutes after this frame is finished, even if Teddy makes this shot.
Again, waiting for the beats. Like a seasoned pro out there. Misses the 8. What's the leave? He's going to get lucky here, is he? No, not quite. So Gary Carr will eventually win this frame. Cue ball. No way. Oh, it's going to stay up. It's going to stay up. Gary Carr is a relieved man sitting back in his chair. Massive
Golden
break.
Golden
8 ball is in. The golden break is in for Liam White. And they've got a choreographed dance to team up with it. Oh, this is amazing. Watch him that. That is absolutely incredible. Have you ever seen the like?
That's incredible. That really is, and that will essentially ice this match. Yeah, we're going to see another break, but they now need 2 frames to get back on parity, and there is just no time here.
Gary Carr smiling through the pain of this one. He's going to the cut break in an attempt to manufacture his own golden break. Oh, and he's got it. Incredible. Cue ball. You're joking. No way. I just cannot believe what I've seen. Golden break to go on the hill. Golden duck to lose it. This is absolutely unbelievable. Watch the reaction here. What have we just witnessed? 9-year-old Teddy White gets his first ultimate pool win with his Tad. And I need to lie down. We're back in a second. Should be an absolute belter, and good to see those two laying into each other before the show starts. It's Christie on the break. And what a break it was as well. Got that cue ball flying. And I think he got a slightly loose rack there as well, and still managed to absolutely smash them apart. Brilliant break from Christie Caulfield to get him and his partner off and running. Said partner is Steve Nesden, who operates under the moniker of Nez. He's a Challenger Series 2 player. He's gone well this year, as you've heard. He's made a quarter-final, which is no mean feat in that series. And I think playing with his old mate here in Christie, playing with one of the best players in the world, only helps a player like Stephen, who surely is going to be elevated tonight.
I agree completely. Disappointing edgy
There's
shot.
There's a commentator's curse. Yeah, sorry, that was instant. Sorry, Nez.
Yeah, slightly edgy, that one. But what you tend to see with players in the Challenger Series, and especially in Tier 2, and Nez has gone well in Tier 2 as well, is, you know, obviously very good potters, you know, and they can make clearances and, you know, at a high level. But you add in just a little bit of decision making from someone like Christie, who does have a very good all-round game, even though he's a very aggressive player. It can only help Nez out there. Although they'll be disappointed that they didn't take out that first chance because it was such a good one, and now they're into a tactical exchange. This will clear a little bit of clock.
I mentioned earlier on, you can't miss Christie's shirt. He's one of the absolute greats on the tour. He is quite the character, as you can probably imagine, for a bloke who has a shirt like that. Brilliant company. Here's Christie Caulfield. He himself has given us some pretty incredible ultimate pool moments. I think it's the fun that he had in the Last Man Standing this year, where he was one of the players of the tournament. He gave us plenty of amazing pool, but some real barrel laughs as well. Time to speak a little bit, though, about their opponents tonight. Two very, very fine players in their own right. Their first ever ultimate pool appearance for TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton. See Brandon at the table right now in the grey shirt. Two lads from the Filey area of the country. That's near Scarborough for those not quite in the know.
Thank you.
A bit north for you, that, isn't it? So lovely part of the world, and two really nice lads who are very, very, as you heard from that interview, nervy about how tonight is going to go. But if you can pot like that, you generally will have an okay time of things. But as they themselves said in that interview, it's not just about potting balls, and that was the hardest thing they had to contend with when they made the transition over from a snooker background. Not quite out of the woods yet, but that has helped, getting rid of that one at the top.
Yeah, it was a slightly edgy shot earlier on that's sort of taken them down this path, and they've left the yellow down the table. Great recovery up the table, and now they're eyeing up the one at the bottom. I don't think they need to worry too much. Just get yourself mid. I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult to clip this in and get the middle of the break line, but they kind of come down the table, and now they're not guaranteed to get a good angle to get onto the 8 ball here. But all credit to him, that was fantastic. I mean, that is absolutely ball in hand perfect.
Yeah, you couldn't play that shot any better.
No. Crossing the line, length of the table, you know, so easy to leave that short and then you've got a problem, or leave yourself long and you've got an even bigger problem. That was an excellent shot.
And an excellent finish from the debutants, TJ and Brandon, with a flying start here in the Pairs Cup.
Because he'll have to break in both of his individual frames.
How on earth that cue ball's not gotten in, I will never ever know, but Christy won't mind about that.
And he'll be happy enough with this layout. The red nearest left centre is blocked off. And I think he'll still take reds. And he'll deal with the problem straight away. Lovely shot.
Yeah, super work from Christy Caulfield. For my money, he's the best individual player out in the group tonight. Absolutely super talent. And has been a touch inconsistent at times with his journey with Ultimate Pool, but this year we've seen, for me at least, a real marked improvement. He has played at times in tournaments like a tournament winner. I say it all the time. Just ask Sean Chipperfield and Craig Waddingham. That doesn't guarantee you winning tournaments, but all you can be is ready to win them. And I think this year it's shown us that Christy is, well, if he's not there yet, he is not far away.
Yeah, I don't think there's much between the professionals in the group tonight. I really don't. Obviously, Clayton's got the world title, which is very, very big. When I'm with you, Christy's been brilliant, and it would be no surprise to see him turn up and win any professional title he enters. He's that sort of inspirational player.
Yeah, it's that he, for me, has a gear that the other top players in this group maybe don't have. They can all play to a brilliant level, but he's just got that little special something that means if he hits the switch, he can just go nuclear and just start running rack after rack after rack. Remember a match he had on this table against Chris Melling in the British Open, which was
remarkable.
I believe a race to 8, and it lasted 25 minutes and it finished 8-7. It was one of the most special matches I can remember seeing.
They went at 2 minutes a frame for 15 frames. It was silly.
Pretty good visit this so far from Christy. This one needs potting. Never in doubt.
Oh, 8-ball.
Golden break for the boys. What an incredible night we are seeing tonight as Brandon Flinton gets in on the act. Third time we've seen the 8-ball go down. Second time for a golden break, and no hesitation for those boys about celebrating that. Fist pumps come in, and then a fist bump of apology from Brandon. Just didn't get the required action on that cue ball there. Reroute required. He's so short, he's actually got it to the top right. But it was very, very missable.
And very difficult to get on the final red as well. That was a super high tariff shot. And the shot that really hurt him, obviously coming up the table there, was being, he could have come up far enough, but if he gets past the yellow, then it just becomes a bit more natural to get back out, to screw it back across the line, because you can't really afford to go past the straight as well.
Yeah, and as soon as you start loading that one up with bottom, you start really revving the cue into it. It makes it a much tougher shot.
And this is
a big chance.
Yeah, this is steady yourself time. It really is.
At least, are we going to see the two underdogs?
I think
get
so.
The opening victories tonight.
He has to go bottom right here. For a second there, I thought he was looking at the centre, but he was just looking about where he wanted to be. As long as he's not hampered too much by the 8-ball, that looks all right. Easy to let this one just get a touch too far up the table. So much so he's going up the table to make sure, but the flick on the yellow hurts him.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to play into them or not, but he could have left them well alone. He'd have been just fine.
Yeah, he wanted to avoid them for sure.
Pot a ball all right.
Yeah, good
TJ
recovery.
Bateman.
The right-hand one, the top one of those two does pass, so you can get that one and get on the other one. That's a very good recovery shot.
Yeah, Brandon's pretty pleased with what he's seen so far. tree-topped over this red.
The 8 ball's close enough to the corner that it shouldn't be a problem.
You can see how he cues though. For whatever reason, you don't quite feel trustworthy watching TJ cue like that, but this boy can seriously play, and well, what a start to tonight's group. TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton get a win over an Ultimate Pool Pro and an Ultimate Pool Challenger, and they are in the box seat of this group with Liam and Teddy White. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup, and so far it's been one of the maddest nights we have had in a little while on the Monday Night Pool. Goosley Caulfield's back on the break, and that is a sledgehammer. Absolutely creams that one.
Another one as well. He's hit the break brilliantly tonight.
Yeah, that will do. And this is loser goes home. We mentioned everyone plays each other, and top of the league at the end of the night will qualify through. But whoever loses this can no longer finish top of the group. So this is a massive, massive match. And considering, you'd have to say on paper, these are our two favourites coming into tonight. This is going to be a bit of an upset early on here, whoever wins this match, because one of the favourites has gone out, and maybe one of the underdogs can sneak a ticket into the last 16 of the Pairs Cup.
Well, all bets are off, aren't they? We've no idea what's going to happen for the rest of this night. I mean,
oh yeah,
I could still, yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I could see any of the 4 pairs making it through from here. I really can.
It has been. It's not just been blown wide open, this has been blown to smithereens.
Well, this is how they started the previous match, with a great chance to make the clearance. It went wrong for them, and that's kind of what did for them, because they were 2-0 down before they knew it. And this time round, they've got an 8 ball to get the job done and start as they wanted to in the previous.
That will make Steve Nesden feel a lot better. He'll feel like he's now in the evening. That was a lovely break and run.
We'll find out. Well, it's a chance.
I mean, we knew this group had a bit of potential when we came into the evening. I don't think any of us expected it to be quite this silly.
Completely and utterly bonkers. And this is such a good chance as well. Just off the wrong angle on that one. Could have made a case for maybe going up higher and coming back down for it, but he's going to back himself to make this one. Drops it in. It's excellent. And he can pinch the pocket here. He's perfect. Doesn't have to do too much. Yeah, and I like this from Christie. You literally just pinch in the pocket. You don't have to do too much. You can roll it in. You don't have to stun it in. And because you want to leave the low angle on the red anyway. Oh, looks like he's going to stun it. Yeah. Same difference though.
Pretty perfect from Stephen Nesden. Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Are things turning then for Clayton Castaldi? He gets a chance.
Oh, he knew.
That's massive as well. Where Stephen was there, he'd done all the hard work. I mean, it was pretty much routine from where he was to finish that one off. And Clayton would have been sat in his chair knowing that. But now he gets an opportunity to really force himself onto this night.
Oh.
He played it with an element, just an element of safety. I think he knew he was leaving an awkward snooker. Not sure you can get to the side cushion to clip this in. That does make this tricky, but he was still
far off though.
He still would have wanted to make that plan.
Because you only need to feather that red to knock it in.
I think he's playing it as a treble, a bank treble here.
Oh, hello. 1, 2. This
Nice.
is close. How good is that from Stephen Nesden? What a shot.
Fabulous. Heartache for Clayton.
What an escape from Stephen Nesden. And in goes the 8-ball. Well, if you can hear a screeching right now, that's the wheels taking off on Clayton's flight home.
Do it with 1 second left on the clock as well.
I was going to say, I think knowing Christie, I think they're going full-blooded here.
I don't think he tried to pot it, if I'm honest with you. I think he tried not to pot it. No attempt to pot that one. That's why I don't think Christie tried to pot the previous one.
We're into the 15-second shot clock part of the match. Gary Carr and Clayton Castaldi need 4 frames in that time. This frame has been costly.
Left it on this time. There is a shot on for Clayton. He's got to take it on. Don't know if he can get enough into this to develop the red by the yellow or not. No, he couldn't. And he's left it too thin for Gary. So Gary's looking twice across. This is harder to go, easier to go wrong than right. You know, I just didn't see that line wasn't available. The pace you had to play it out was going to throw wider off the first cushion. It makes it look wild now because he's absolutely nowhere on it.
Is there a kind of double here for Clayton Castaldi? Oh, you better believe it. He's not far away.
Some effort, but it should be that.
Oh. What a ridiculous evening so far. That is that. A 4-0 win for Christie Caulfield and Stephen Nesden. And Clayton Castaldi and Gary Carr, Malta's great hopes, are going home in this competition. They'll still have 1 match to play, but there is no further passage through this group for the Maltese. Welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. Bateman and Flinton are back in the arena. So too are the whites. The Danger Mice. As match number 4, the Pairs Cup Group 15 gets underway in a successful break for these two. Decent looking split, at least at first glance. Just trying to dot the I's and cross the T's here. I think Reds look pretty good here, don't they?
Reds are good. First shot's not. Clip along the bottom cushion or red top right. Which way are you going? Doesn't really matter which way, but you can get out both ways.
I have to take this one first, really. But there you see the cueing of TJ. It's pretty unique, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very unique. It's a shame for him. If they'd gone an extra 2 turns up the table, you'd rather be on red top right than the one at the top of the table. And then the one he's playing now becomes your penultimate ball, one over the pocket. Middle pocket becomes last. So just that extra roll up the table would have made a difference. It's not the end of the world because the 8-ball's not in a terrible spot.
No, it pots pretty much anywhere, really. Whether it's going to be as comfy as a pair of open-toed sandals, that remains to be seen.
He's overdone it again. He's back in exactly the same spot twice. you see the one at the top of the table. Tries to make it off the yellow. What an effort. Oh, that was some effort.
Yeah, a little unlucky. But back come Stokes' finest. That was such a good try.
It was. Now what do they do here then? What do they do? I think there's a case for safety. I was wondering whether you could play the yellow into the middle and then play a loss of turn safety and just leave the one red at the top of the table. That would help them. I'm not sure that's on. He's just going to play an out and out safety here. It's a good shot. There's no gap between the cushion and the yellow. If there was, then there's no way they play it that way.
Yeah, TJ just came to look just for posterity in case they were bluffing.
You've got to, haven't you? So this is on 2 cushions, and you don't want to catch the red full. You've got to catch the red about half ball.
Yeah, full, and the cue ball's following it straight in.
But dead weight half ball, because you don't want the cue ball going. If it made contact, the cue ball goes up past the red. You've got no shot as well. So that was a tall order, and this is where I think they should play the loss of turn. I think Liam should figure this one out. Play the loss of turn and get another snooker. Yeah, that's what he's coming around for. He's got a wide margin of error just to bring it back. Teddy just checks it out. Yeah, Dad got that. He would have liked an extra half a turn. I don't know if a little mini swerve is on or not. But they had a quick look at it, but I think it is still too much. I think that's job done. But if it gets an extra turn back, it's even harder to hit. It is a good hit. Well, decisions. They're on the yellow on the right-hand side, which is the ball that gets them the chance to make the finish. But to take it on, you're leaving the red on. I think the best play here with the 8-ball blocking the red is just to leave the cue ball in the top half of the table. Don't put any yellows dead here. You actually probably don't really want to make the plant.
Why not make both?
Well, just make both. The only reason I say that, and obviously people will be wondering why, it is simply because at some point in this visit, now that they've made the plan, they are going to have to get across for this yellow on the right-hand side, and they won't get better on it than they've already been on it. So if you aren't going to take it on there, and I understand why not, maybe if it was Liam's shot, maybe they'd have been more tempted, but...
There was probably an argument for taking it there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're going to just replay safe. There's also an argument for Liam playing safe on that shot. As in, he didn't have to pop that ball. He could have just clipped off it and left the cue ball middle of the top cushion.
Just got a little bit into that, did Teddy.
Yeah.
He's brought the ball back an inch, which just means they've got sight of this red of Bateman and Flinton. I mean, it's far from an easy shot, this. This is really tough. Oh, it cut. Well, that helps. That's a brilliant shot. To be honest, I didn't think they could see that side of the red, but, well, happy days for TJ and Brandon. That's an excellent shot from TJ.
You could see the relief when they won their opening frame of the night. Right, this is the moment here for the whites. Liam
knows it as well. That's game face.
Yep.
It's a good break that. Again, that's a really tough in-off.
Yeah, this is
3 in-offs the cut break tonight. They've all been brutal.
Yeah, it's as you said earlier on, it's a break that doesn't really often deliver the in-offs.
Serves them right.
Okay, so this is a layout that... this is the layout that Liam would have been looking for. It's one of those that you feel like you should get as a professional ball player. Just needs one good positional shot. It was awkward to get nicely on a ball there, just dropping it in. It's kind of one shot to get in the mix in the middle.
Yeah, he just needs land to the northwest of the triangle area. There's okay.
It's actually the red that furthest left on the table is actually a little bit more awkward than I first thought, because it looks really easy, but it doesn't have a good pocket.
I think what I was thinking there is if you're straight on this red that sort of naturally goes to the right centre, you replace that red, just draw it back a little bit. you're on that red to the left centre,
Yeah.
and it picks it apart. It's just difficult to get there.
Agreed. But he's done well here though, because he's worked this out. Yeah, I say he's worked it out. He's a little bit short. If he gets straight in on the red here, then he could have dropped in, and then it would have been really simple. But he's a touch high. Sorry, it took me a couple of seconds there.
It's all right.
And
I've been brutal on him.
You have. Has he left the turn of angle he needs just to get the yellow? Oh, we could just punch past it. That was excellent. That was excellent.
It's been a lovely, lovely visit to the table. Danger Mouse getting the job done. Brilliant visit to the table from White Senior. Junior's waiting with a fist bump.
Make a ball, control yourself. You can't just run the clock down. You've got to be a bit more clever than that here. Oh, it's an excellent break as well. No, just take the clock out of play here. Just completely take the clock out of play and just get down and make a break clearance. I like the yellows because of the 8-ball, but you can certainly make a case for the reds, but I like the yellows here. Could take the yellow top right if you can see it. That's the ball for me. It gets you on left centre, and then the rest of the work's in the same half of the table. He's not taking it. He's coming the other way round. You may not have seen it. Has to make it, of course. Can't run the clock down quite enough to not leave Liam a chance to run round and counter. You only have to leave 1 second on the clock to have a break, and golden breaks in play. That should still be live, so you have to make this finish. That's fine. Just drift up, top right, left centre, and you're away.
Sure, the original plan would have been to play top right first, and it shouldn't be a problem, but it is a slightly more awkward route. It means he might have to play a good shot on this last yellow. Don't know how close he can get to the 8-ball here. So ideally, this is where he'd be on the 8-ball.
That's why you wanted to leave that one last ball. He'll do well to screw out and get anywhere near where he is now, because the tendency is to underhit this, not overhit it. He's played a pretty good shot, but this is a much tougher 8-ball than he wanted. Slim hope here for the whites.
Talked about that snooker background before. This is a pot that TJ is making look very, very easy. He's some player, is TJ Bateman. His partner Brandon is also flying as well. These two are heading to the top of the group in the Pairs Cup, and they are just 1 point away from qualification tonight. The whites are back in a sec to put them under a bit of pressure if they can. All right then, it's time to separate the men from the boys, and that shouldn't take much doing in the top left of your picture. Christy Caulfield and Steve Nesden, though, are determined to put a stop to the fun over in the whites corner. It's Christy with that booming break of his that's been so reliable tonight. It gets us underway. This is the situation. These two teams both need a favour from the Maltese pair that they've both, well, humiliated really already this evening. So they're asking for one more favour from Clayton Castaldi and Gary Carr. And I think the good news for these two pairs in this match is that Gary and Clayton are two brilliant players who will be so disappointed with how tonight's gone. They'll be really itching to put on a bit of a show in the final match, I think, and they'll be really on the try hard for a victory, which they are going to need for one of these pairs. TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton have been excellent. They play Gary and Clayton in the final match, and they will just need a draw or more, and they are qualified no matter what happens in this match. Whoever wins this game between the whites and Caulfield and Esden. Puts the pressure on. They can still qualify. They just need the two Yorkshire youngsters in the final match to drop points and maybe force a 6-red shootout. That's how the group lies. So both of these teams can still qualify, but they must win this match and they must get a little bit of help. Ricky Caulfield and Stephen Esden are off to the ideal start. That's an excellent break and run.
Another brilliant break from Liam. He's hit the break well tonight.
Yeah, he has.
He's actually played really well tonight as Liam. Some really good finishes under pressure to try and... Obviously it's a strange emotion for him out there playing with his 9-year-old son. But he has dealt with it all really well and played some really good pool. Yellow's the choice. You saw him immediately come down and have a look at the yellow below the 8-ball. Does it go? How much of it is showing? Can you get an angle on it to open up the other one? Not sure you can. So immediately playing into the problem area. Not really worked out very well for him. May have to just turn the table over here. Although there's no great place to put the safety. That's why he took on the pot in the centre, because a real good safe place on the table. To see Christy Caulfield.
In comes Christy the consultant.
Yeah. What I do like is that he's asking if it's an open table. Liam potted 2 yellows. I was like, was he watching at all?
I have a feeling in the car on the way back those two are going to have another laugh about that one. Oh, just caught the draw.
A little bit fortunate. Holds up his hand because he's got the red at the top, blocking the yellow now. Worked out really well for him. Doesn't want the yellow to drop in afterwards. No, that wasn't an attempted combination. That was just a loss of turn.
Yeah, deliberately played it offline there to achieve that exact result. Looks like Stephen's going to try and return the favour. He is. What I would say now for Liam is that the yellow does now have a pocket.
I quite like just, well, yeah, you can make the case. I quite like just bumping the yellow, leave the red above the, leave the cue ball above the red. He's thinking a lot more aggressively than I was. I was thinking if you caught that half ball, that shot was probably on, and then the yellow's in play, and you're not, but you're probably leaving a half chance on, and you never want to do. Professional pool players don't want to do that, but I still think that half chance you'd have given Stephen was going to be a tougher or more of a percentage play than playing the double. He gets another opportunity anyway. It's not a very good one. That's a good shot though. Perfect on this yellow. I think he can bump the red. That gets him on the yellow to left centre, which opens up the yellow to bottom left. That was excellent. It would have been better to get the red full. Means he's not playing the final yellow to bottom left corner. Now this is a bad angle. If the 8-ball doesn't go bottom left corner, he's got a problem.
shot.
The red blocks the double. A little bit unfortunate. Double would have been easier than the cut.
He's got a shot though. Oh, that's a pot from Liam White.
That's huge.
Level at one.
What an out. There's another brilliant break from Liam. He's hit it so well tonight. And it's a great chance for them to make a break clearance.
So then, can the Danger Mice get themselves level? Remember, a draw does neither team any good. It will actually qualify. Bateman. Clinton outright.
Tough that for Teddy. Everything that's a stretch for him has just been a challenge. Every time he's been able to just be in his normal technique, he has been brilliant. The minute is a bit of a stretch, then it becomes a problem for him.
And that sadly is something he can't do anything about.
Not yet, no, exactly. Yeah. But you know, it's been noticeable. Obviously, the decisions they've had to make have had to factor that in as well.
Well, you can even see when the ball's on the cushion, he's having to stand on his tiptoes.
Yeah.
We often see that people seeing this game for the first time often think the table looks sometimes hilariously small if you've never seen a 7-foot table before. You come from snooker or a 9-foot pool background, it does look small. It doesn't tonight.
No, that's true. Well, Stephen played a poor shot 2 shots ago, which has led them down this path. Why they're not in good shape here. That's an excellent pot to recover, but not a great cue ball. Liam taps his leg, but he's probably quite happy that fell in.
I think there'll come a point soon enough where that won't drop anymore.
Yeah.
From viewing this weekend.
That is coming. That's a good shot.
It's a big, big shot now. Make it. And you've just about done your bit. Oh, now then. It is amazing, isn't it? That was a fraction off straight. He's cued it gun barrel straight into the jaw.
Liam doesn't know whose shot it is. Liam, it's your shot. He's gambling. He doesn't know it's his shot. He asked the referee and he wasn't sure.
Yeah, referee can't actually say.
Yeah, it was Liam's shot. It's an uncomfortable feeling for him, and actually disappointing. Obviously, he was gambling whether it was his shot or not, but he's actually played a very, very poor shot. Should have laid the snooker here, and all of a sudden it became a very real chance for them, because if they'd made the counter there, which would have been after a snooker, then it's Liam's break.
Christy, see the potting angle of this one? It is tight.
The way he's played that tells me he couldn't. So actually it wasn't too bad. Sorry, it wouldn't be Liam's break, it'd be Liam's frame, but they've got to win this frame first.
Yeah, that's the shot. Oh, I can't believe that's not gone in on the double kiss. Teddy White disappointed. Christy Caulfield and Stephen Nesden delighted. That should just about do them.
This isn't in yet though.
Yes, it is. Brilliant shot from Christy Caulfield.
If they get the snooker there, then you expect them to make the counter clearance, and then they're 2-2 at this moment instead of 3-1.
Gold break to win it, not quite. Well, Liam White is the owner of the record for the quickest reverse clearance. Did that on this table. That's a great. Oh, I thought that was in. Did this on this table what are we thinking now? 2.5, 3 years ago? It's Phil Harrison. He was a 27-second reverse clearance.
Yeah, end of the first year. So technically the start of the second year, as in it was the first tournament of the season in December, the Pro Cup.
But he won't get as far this time after that missed opening shot. Christy Caulfield can seal the deal here. Doesn't have to win this frame, but he's going to try to. Just needs to stay at the table, essentially, for a couple more shots, and the Whites' race is run. Oh, it is going to be Christy and Stephen who stay alive, but what a night for this pair. A night that they'll remember for a very, very long time.
Very, very special. It really is.
I dare say, only the beginning of young Teddy White's ultimate pool journey.
Only the beginning of seeing more and more youngsters coming through. Ultimate Pool have announced the next gen. New series for the juniors coming out. Yeah, it's going to be great to see. But Teddy, really very, very special young man.
Christy Caulfield is going to get the job done. It's been a very, very tidy finish this from Christy. He's played well all night, in truth. And this to set the seal on it, and a 4-1 win. Thumps in the 8-ball with authority. Christy Caulfield gets the job done, and he and Stephen Nesden are still in with a shout, still fighting in the Pairs Cup, and they need a little bit of a Maltese favour in the final match of the night, but no one will quite forget what these two did either. Welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Cup, Pairs Cup. Gary Carr and Clayton Castoldi. I thought for a second Gary Carr was going to, for the second time of the night, have a golden duck. And I really couldn't have blamed him at that point for just walking off, because he's hit this break beautifully. And look at the reaction from Gary Carr. I'm not sure what he and Clayton have done wrong tonight, but they have been extraordinarily unlucky. And right now they're going to hope that some of Christy Caulfield's luck of the Irish rubs off on them. Christy certainly will be, because he and Stephen Nesden can take Bateman and Flinton to a 6-red shootout should Gary Carr and Clayton Castoldi win this match. And that, I think, is the first ball that TJ Bateman has missed all night. And this might be a little bit of a different dynamic side. We talked, didn't we, in their last game, that for TJ and Brandon, we're not sure. We've seen many players play much better on debut, on TV debut no less, than TJ and Brandon tonight. But all of a sudden, they've now got something to lose. Does that change things?
It absolutely changes things. And they won the opening 2 frames in their opening 2 matches, won them both 4-1. And they will get off to a slower start here. Then you're chasing it and you feel like you've got something to protect. It can get messy out there, and of course you're playing against a very, very good pairing. It have to be said that Gary and Clayton have been very unlucky tonight. They've also not played very well. They've made, okay, they haven't made millions of mistakes because they haven't had millions of chances, but they've both made a couple of errors that they'll be really annoyed at.
Well, that right there from Clayton was a bit of an error, because he just played a bit of a laissez-faire cannon, really, because he knew he couldn't. Oh, what a recovery that is! But he knew he couldn't miss the cannon, so just played it almost a little bit carelessly, and caught it so full ball that they all of a sudden were left with nothing. So just even on the simple clearances, just got to mind your work. That's gone a little bit wrong as well. Still recover. I mentioned in the last game that Clayton and Gary are exceptionally proud people, and they will really want to not let what's happened tonight be the story and end it on a high. Some familiar mistakes creeping in sadly for the Maltese.
It wasn't a very good shot from Gary. It wasn't a very good plan either, in terms of you never wanted to leave those two balls as your last two. I know they had to go across the table and open up the ones on the right, but equally you had to get across, back across, and otherwise you're going to have to play an amazing shot somewhere. See, Gary played a poor shot, not leaving them on the one nearest the pocket, and now they're second favourites for this frame.
Well, that was the issue, wasn't it? Is they played a bad shot to make the yellows difficult on the right side. And, well, up against it here, TJ and Brandon. A really excellent opportunity to go and take the first frame. And if this was the first two matches of the night, I wouldn't doubt them for a second. All of a sudden, a couple of seeds have been sown with that early miss from TJ. And they just need to settle.
Yeah, a couple of shots here just to get them into prime position to make it easy. That's the first one.
Well, we hear all the time, don't we? We hear on the Champions League, we hear on the Pairs Cup, we've heard it from some of the best players in the world over the last couple of years on these Monday nights, is this position is always a very, very difficult game. Because you've won two, and you know that you just need any result and you're through. But every single player who's been in that position has come off the table afterwards and told us how horrible the match was, how difficult an experience it was, how different the pressure is that they felt. It's not often in this game that you play with something to lose.
Argument here to take the one at the bottom of the table. No, get the perfect straight. Just one of those that the natural angle on the one at the bottom was to track perfectly back onto the one they've just played, but if he'd pulled that back too far or not enough and the 8 ball comes into play, then you could have had a slight issue. It could go either way there, but certainly was an argument for it. They dealt with it well.
Yeah, finished on the last two balls about as well as he could. There's for another frame. They are playing nicely tonight. TJ Bateman puts that miss in the first, with his first shot in the frame behind him. Mistakes are going to happen. It's a brutal format, no matter how good you are. And both Clayton and Gary are very, very good. We've just not seen it tonight.
You have to say as well, how bad will Christie and Stephen feel watching on? You know, the simple 8 ball that Gary had to make it 1-1 with 7 and a bit to play, and the former world champion going up, they'd have felt like they were a real chance of a 6 red, and now it just looks so unlikely. Might go top left. If you want to go for the finish, probably take it on. Try and get the keyboard out. You could go left centre and use the one at the top to get on the one that he's nearest to. It does go top left. You can take it now, get out of the way. It's one of your problems dealt with. A couple more on the left-hand side, though. Choosing to play ultra quickly, 2-0 up. I wouldn't be thinking like that. But also, it's a bit too far out to really be running the clock down. Good pot.
Yeah, they can pot a ball, these two. That is for absolute certain.
He's been pretty much digging this the whole way through, and yet he's still in shape to get out.
all eyes there were on that cannon. Just took his eyes off the pot. Makes even those shots missable when your entire focus is on what the white ball's doing afterwards.
Red off yellow. Open up the bottom right corner pocket, and then it's all there. Will do. He has, I think he's stopping because he's got just a touch of angle there, and he's going towards the red. He probably could drop it in dead weight if he absolutely had to. It's just going to go the other way round. No real problems with that.
It's been the sort of night where it would feel quite on brand for Gary and Clayton to run 3 racks here and force us to a 6-red shootout. They've got the time to do it. They've got the opportunity here to win 1. And I wouldn't be sitting particularly comfortable if I was TJ and Brandon right now.
I'm saying nothing till the 8 ball's gone in, because I thought that in the previous frame. This time it does go in.
I believe that's the first frame Clayton's won all right, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, I'll say about these two as well, they're both pretty short in the tooth. I dare say it's probably not the last time we'll see either of these two on the ultimate pool stage again. I don't just mean in the last 16, because that's where they're headed right now. Gary Carr goes in off the break for I think the 5th time tonight.
He has really struggled to keep that cue ball on the table.
He can't find something to work for him. And TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton can take this one home.
Yeah, this one's done. There's nothing to really stress over here. You can just have a victory lap. Enjoy yourself for the next minute, because the job is done.
What a performance.
Brilliant. I think they've missed 1 pot between them all night. I mean, they've been really, really good. Maybe 2, but very, very solid in their first 2 matches. A little bit edgy at the start of this one, but once Gary missed that 8 ball, it just kind of looked like all but certain they were going to get the job done here. Wasn't a particularly good shot. Trying to run round and actually make the break clearance to get it done.
How's your recovery?
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is brilliant, absolutely balling out perfect.
What a shot that is from TJ.
Yeah. How good has this been tonight from them?
Well, what a moment for TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton. They go 3 for 3.
I think that was the wrong word. I think it should have been Brandon. You play 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it should have been Gary against you. So that's my bad. Let me get the time put back and we'll have to replay that match. No, right, not just that frame.
Well, you just heard there from referee Orich Tesgall, and we may have to have a bit of a replay. Anything that could have gone wrong tonight for Gary Carr and Clayton Castaldi has done. They can't even lose in peace. Get subjected to 1 more frame. I thought Gary Carr was going to do the funniest thing ever and going off that break for good measure as well, but he's kept the cue ball on the table. So it's back to 3-1. And Gary Carr is at the table.
Yeah, and he might make a break clearance himself here.
There just isn't enough time to get the win, which is ultimately what would change the course of tonight's result.
Well, you say there isn't enough time. Let's make a case. Let's make a case for it. Gary, if Gary clears up here, and he should do quickly, it's 3-2. Dry break then from what would be TJ's frame, quick clearance from Clayton Castaldi, and then it would be Clayton Castaldi with the break in what would be the deciding frame, and he'd need a golden break. So let's say that's the tiniest chance.
I mean, that would be the silliest ending to tonight. But I take your point. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Gary Carr thumps in that 8 ball with a little bit of attitude there.
He's not. In this situation, you should take about 50% off the break, and just make sure of not fouling. Basically, you don't want the cue ball going in off of the 8 ball, and he has taken something off the break.
And he's made a ball, and that will do it. So it's
very bizarre end up.
yeah, a bit of a shame for TJ and Brandon, honestly, but the right result needs to be got, and that's obviously the most important thing. 15 seconds to go. And 1 ball to pot, and the match is over. And we can now say that TJ Bateman and Brandon Flinton are in the last 16 of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. They run the gauntlet in Group 15. They win all 3 matches. And what a result that is for the Filey Flyers, soaring into the last 16.